Alright guys, so in this video I am going to show you guys how to camber your show car, daily car, project car, whatever you got. I'm going to be covering 3 of the ways you can do it, starting from the most expensive down to the cheapest, down to DIY. So let's get this going. Alright, so the most expensive way to do camber is by purchasing any sort of suspension components like aftermarket control arms, toe arms, and obviously coilovers. I have the D2 Racings, and the way you can camber the coilovers, every single kind of coilover comes with cambering settings, mostly just for the fronts. They do positive or negative. It's not a huge amount of camber for the settings, but if you're wanting to go negative, which is obviously what you want to go for, you want to go towards the engine, not away from the engine. You want to go towards the engine to get the max amount of camber. To maximize the camber output for negative, you want to have the ring pushed all the way against the plate, and then put these, normally you have 4, I don't know where my other 2 went, but you want them to be as close together as possible to have the maximum amount of negative camber on your coilovers. Now there's also control arms, toe arms, all that stuff for aftermarket to adjust your camber to which you like it. I don't have that luck, obviously, because I do not have aftermarket control arms or toe arms or anything like that for this car. All has to be made by somebody, and I really don't want to trust that. Plus, I haven't found anybody that is able to do that. But all in all, this is the most safest route to go, but also the most expensive route, because coilovers are about, for the good brands, between $1,000 upwards to $5,000 from what I've seen. Lowest, that's when you're going to start having issues, not only with suspension wise, but everything else. It will start to, probably one day, it will literally just make your tire fall off and your whole wheel itself. So that's the most expensive part of this video, is aftermarket suspension components. Alright, so the next way, which is the cheaper route that you could also do with your other setup, your coilovers and everything else, is camber bolts. Now what's different about camber bolts is that normally your hub bolt that goes to your strut looks like this. It's a standard bolt that goes into your hub to hold your strut in place. What these do is, you see this hump right here, this has a certain degree to where it can give you negative or positive. So let's say your hub and strut go like this way, okay? Instead of this way, which it should go this way regardless of anything. If you go this way, you'll be going away from the engine, so it would be positive. I believe these are a 1.25 degree for positive or negative. So if you go this way, it will be negative. You want this, the higher point of the bump, to be whichever way you want. You don't want it, if you go straight, then it's just going to be 0 degree. You get nothing from it. You want to go this way or this way. If you have too much camber, you're trying to get rid of it, I would go with positive. If you want more camber, I would go negative. Now obviously, you know, with these, you can probably get these for about like $20 for a pair of 2, between 20 and 40 depending on what brand you get. I believe these were like 20 for 2 of them. I have them on every single one of my wheels and hubs. You can run 2, you can, to get more negative camber. That's a good thing about this. You don't have to run just 1. If you run just 1, then you get whatever degree that they said that 1 gives. You can do top and bottom, but I think for the fronts I only have the bottoms, not the tops. But you'll notice as you tighten these you'll see your hub move whichever direction that this part is on. So this is the cheaper route to go when you're trying to give more camber to your setup. I would definitely go with these though, even if you have coilovers, control arms, and tow arms, and all that stuff. I would definitely go with these, because these can give you more camber in the long run. So this is the cheapest route to go with. I will now show you the DIY do-it-yourself. Okay, so this is my front. In my coilover video that I posted, you know that this DIY trick did not work in the fronts because I couldn't camber the front because of my tow arm. But I'm just gonna give you an example of what it will look like if you do it this way. So the way you want to do this is you want to grab those, like the drill bits that kind of look like a drill, and you want to drill in this area of your coilovers. This is what slotted coilovers are called. You slot a new hole, that way when you push back on your hub, it's going to push further back and make your hub bend this way to cause more negative camber. It obviously didn't work like that in the front. In the back, worked perfectly, no issues. But yeah, but do not drill further than where I went, because if you drill further, then you're going to damage everything else. This is how far you want to go. Don't go any further. You're supposed to just drill a hole, not make an entire line, but obviously that didn't go as planned. And I didn't do it, my friend did. But yeah, this is your DIY. I will put this bottom bolt in and I will show you how it moves. So just give me 1 second and I will do that. Alright, so I put the bottom bolt in. That's the camber bolt. This is the only camber that I really have in the front besides the coilovers being moved to the furthest point for camber. So this is what it's going to look like when you slot your coilovers to give you more negative camber. So instead of it being in the perfect position that it is for basically stock camber, when you slot it, it's going to do this and move all the way back instead of it being like this. So it's going to move back like that. And as you can see, my hub goes from being straight to down. This is obviously a dangerous task to do because it can pretty much destroy something if you do it wrong, which is in my case, it pretty much almost did, because I got to put 2 bolts on the top to hold this thing from moving. Because what would happen is when I'd be driving, especially when I went reverse, it would pop like this back in place, and then it would just, the hub would just scrape everywhere instead of it being perfect like this. So now I got to put a bolt behind this part and then put my normal bolt inside of this, which sucks. I wish it didn't happen like that. I was hoping that it would work, but it didn't. But yeah, this is the DIY technique to getting you more camber, which involves everything else that I talked about in this video, as in coilovers and all that stuff for the expensive part, camber bolts you can do with this, and you can even do the DIY with everything else on it to get the maximum amount of camber that you want for your ride. Obviously, don't go crazy to where you can barely even get over a bump, just enough to make it look decent. You know what I'm saying? Even though I support the static people. But yeah, that is my 3 ways of making your car have camber. But yeah, that is about it. I will be posting mostly Mondays and Fridays now with some shorts in between the weeks. Be ready for that. But I appreciate you guys' support and everything. Thank you for getting me halfway to 1,000 subs. I really appreciate it. I've only been making videos for about a month, and it's crazy that I've already gone up that much. But yeah, I will tune in with you guys next time. So peace out.